Yes, it is After Dark with Daddy Freeze and my Ugandan lobster. What's going on?
Nothing, Daddy Freeze. How are you?
I'm fine, and we've got some breaking news for you. How do I say this? Omoyele Sowore is out. Well, I'm gonna read some of the newspapers and blogs that carried the story. From the Punch newspaper says court orders Sowore's release. Okay? Justice Taiwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja ordered the release of the convener of Revolution Now protest, Mr. Omoyele Sowore, from the custody of the Department of State Service immediately. The judge said the activist should be released to his lawyer, Mr. Femi Falana-San, who is to produce him for arraignment whenever he is required. The judge, however, said since charges had already been filed against the activist, he must deposit his passport and other travel documents to guarantee his availability for trial. The judge had earlier stood down the case after hearing arguments from the legal team of Sowore and that of the DSS. Leading Sowore's team, Mr. Femi Falana-San, noted that the order issued by the court on the 8th of August 2019 permitting the DSS to hold the activist for 45 days had expired on the 21st of September. He urged the court to issue a consequential order releasing the publisher of Sahara Reporters from custody. But responding DSS lawyer G.O. Agbadua said since the charges had been filed against the activist on the 20th of September, it was lawful to continue to keep him. But Femi Falana said filing of charges cannot metamorphosize into a detention. And I kind of see a lot of sense in that. A citizen cannot detain a citizen in anticipation of arraignment. Earlier, Agbadua withdrew the DSS application asking for the extension of the period of detention of Sowore for a further 20 days. Now, Agbadua's request for the withdrawal of the said application was based on the fact that the charges had been filed against the activist. Falana also withdrew Sowore's application for bail on the grounds that the application had become academic since the order of detention had expired. For more on the Punch's take, you could check The Punch. Now, Premium Times also has the report, and Premium Times says court orders immediate release of Sowore. The Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the immediate release of the detained publisher of Sahara Reporters, Omoyele Sowore. The court made the order after saying on Tuesday that there was no extant order allowing Mr. Sowore's further detention by the state security services. So this is, can I say, a win for humanity? You know, I've been very careful on this case because, you know, some of us live in this Nigeria. And when it is hot, you know how it gets hot. And I, from the beginning, didn't like the word revolution.
Yeah.
Because I have seen what a protest can degenerate into. However, I am personally glad that he has legally regained his freedom. And I'm sure, you see, I don't know how to put this without getting in trouble, but if we can learn from Naira Marley and EFCC, between me, you, and God, EFCC made Naira Marley a legend. You have no idea. I'm walking into Taste Bud's kitchen, and the boys are like, inside life. You know, any small thing.
Yeah.
You carry that, man, inside life. There was a Naira Marley song that is literally Naira Marley talking. And it became a hit. And I'm like, wow. So, when you have matters that are extremely sensitive with a volatile population, a population that is ready to ignite. Both parties have to be extremely careful, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Both the party protesting and the party reacting to the protest. And what I have learned is you always make people stronger by keeping them behind bars, especially when they're activists or they're trying to fight a cause. Between you and I had heard of Naira Marley. Naira Marley was he was not a force to be reckoned with musically until that EFCC. He was trying, but now you can't speak of 2019
Exactly.
on the street and not mention Naira Marley.
Naira Marley can do no wrong. Literally.
And as far as I'm concerned, Naira Marley even had a bigger run this year than Zlatan, even though Zlatan was hot this year.
Yeah. But I think right now they're on the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
And their street cred is, I think Naira Marley's street cred is about 150%. Zlatan is about 145%. As in, the streets love them. Malians. Why? So, I know I'm not in any position to advise anyone, but people, when you don't plan something, for instance, you didn't plan that if you threw beans out of your window, chickens will come and eat it. Once you throw the first beans, you see chickens are coming, and you don't want to gather chickens. Don't throw beans out of the window again. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you saw it with EFCC, you saw it with the other gentleman that is detained in Abuja, the Islamic one, I don't want to mention his name. You saw what happened. I think there should have been a better way of working it with Sowore in such a way that you will not end up making him a legend. And that might work against you, but I'm not saying it will. I'm not really saying anything so that you'll not come and join me to the people. But you see, the amount of free Sowore and the way people started coming out on the streets for Sowore would not have happened if there wasn't a Malian situation. I don't know how to say this thing, but I'm sure people understand what I'm talking about. Oh, Ugandan. Please say it so that if they're looking for it, don't run back to where you're coming from.
But I think the only thing that came to my mind recently when they got the Port Harcourt man was treated, the way this Mr. Sowore was treated when he was taken to prison, and the way the Port Harcourt was paraded, given rice to eat, like he was like a piece of art that everyone was watching. They put together him a fork, give him plastic container. Eat your food.
You see, sometimes I look at our law enforcement and I don't know what to say. And as in, it's like the law enforcement will try this way, it will not work. They'll try this way, it will not work. So they'll try to do something in the middle and see if it will work. I really don't know what to say.
I was trying to explain to everyone around me that, no, this guy was actually killing people. They're like, no, why are they feeding him?
You see, the fact that a human being in a civilized society, no matter what happens, a human being's right cannot be taken away from a human being.
Keep the same energy with him.
Listen, if you're going to try him, you're still going to feed him. If the trial is going to, even if at the end of the day you're going to sentence him, the trial period still requires him being fed. It still requires him being taken care of. You understand? You're not going to keep him. I don't know how to explain it, but I understand where you're coming from, though.
It's like a time and place. It just didn't seem. I don't know.
So anyway, also breaking news: Festus Keyamo has been removed as Niger Delta minister and redeployed to Labour. All right, quite a lot is going on politically, and as much as possible, you know, your daddy likes to stay away from politics. It's just that this Sowore Malian situation, I just feel I can give people some advice. You understand? Because you need to understand that, listen, there are quite a few courts. There's the court of public opinion, and then there's the proper legal court. Now, what matters in the legal court does not matter before the court of public opinion. Now, the legal court is more powerful, supposedly, than the court of public opinion. However, the court of public opinion is judged by the public.
Yeah.
And it is very powerful. You saw what happened with the South African attacks.
Yeah.
The court of public opinion gave a judgment. Immediately they ruled, and immediately the people were on the street. You saw it happen. Literally, it went from stone cold to blowing hot in hours. So we must never undermine the court of public opinion, especially now that everyone has a smartphone. Little Morufu, the organizer, I be the vulcanizer. I always say vulcanizer because I grew up in Ibadan, so make una no vex. The vulcanizer in Oderemo has a phone. He bought 50 naira airtime. It came with some free data.
Yeah.
He's on Instablog sharing a comment. I listen to what I did. I went back to my hood, where I grew up, and I started following a few of the people on Facebook and Instagram. I noticed that they're all following Instablog, so they all comment. They're as 80% of people I grew up with in my hood in Ibadan are on Instablog. Not all of them are educated. Not all of them are doing well. But all of them have smartphones. And all of them are on Instagram and on Facebook. And they're on Instablog. So they're commenting. And they're reading. And they're getting agitated. So we cannot, in 2019, where everyone has a phone and a voice, we cannot undermine the court of public opinion. We could 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But we absolutely cannot now. It is dangerous. So when you're judging a proper court, still think of what the court of public opinion would say. Let us never forget EFCC. EFCC versus Naira Marley should go down in history. I'm not saying what Naira Marley did. Listen, I'm not saying what Naira Marley did was right. And I'm not saying what EFCC did was wrong. But let us look at the result.
And also, it doesn't end like that all the time before people start praying for EFCC to come.
I'm telling you, some people would literally look for trouble so they can get caught, so EFCC could, or whoever it is, could help them blow.
won't work.
So, listen, am I happy with the way things are going right now in the country? I'd have to be a liar from the deepest recess of hellfire to tell you that I'm looking at this country and I'm happy the way it is. I'm not. So, Omoyele complaining amounts to something. My problem with the way Omoyele handled it was the word revolution. I didn't want that spark to get ignited and have, consequences like we saw at ShopRite. So I was a bit worried about the choice of words.
Yeah.
However, I'm also not happy with the situation now. The fact that many of us are not talking does not mean we don't see. That doesn't mean we're blind and deaf and stupid. We could see what's going on. So at the end of the day, guys, whatever you do, let there be democracy. If a man wants to speak, let him speak. Can I say this? But it is one of the things the last administration encouraged. He comes, he shouts, he goes.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But the moment you make an issue of it, the more you give the court of public opinion an unnecessary amount of power. Or should I say in this case, a necessary amount of power? I'm speaking in parables. All right, guys, that's as far as we can go. Let's hit you up with some music before we get into any trouble. Right? How was Uganda?
Uganda was nice.
What did you do in Uganda? Did somebody eventually agree to give you 2 cows to get married to you?
They were only promising me
They're only promising. How many cows are you worth?
that if he's
No, we read it on the blogs that in Uganda it is cow that you are worth. Your worth as you are fine like this is cow. Thank God you look like cow. So how many cows are they going to give you so that you can now become somebody's cow?
that if he's at least 30.
30 what? What was 30? 30 pieces of meat or 30 cows?
30 cows.
As in cow, one cow.
Yeah.
30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30.
That if it's money is not everything.
Say it to the person bringing 30 cows. All right, big shout out to my girl Amal, whose sister got married. What's your sister's name?
Faith.
Faith. What's that? Kansime. Did I get it?
Yes.
Okay, because that's how I was dating one girl one day. I went to, like, your surname is Kansime, and she had a sister. That's why I went to say, give shout. I didn't know that she was from another father with another name. So I have to be careful. Okay, so Faith Kansime, here are my condolences on your. Yeah, so you think marriage is sweet like that? Hey, everybody will face their own, no? All the stars, special dedication to Faith and her husband. What's the husband's name?
Julius.
Julius and Faith Kansime. No, it's the husband's name. What's his son name?
Sabiti.
Sabi. That's a fine Ugandan name. Caesar. Kendrick Lamar. 96.9.